Hiya guys! It's been a really long time since I've updated. What's it been, like 4 years? Wow, that's a really long time. Anyway, a lot's happened in the last 4 years. Long story short, I left Japan after about 4 months. I found that 4 months was long enough for me for the first time going abroad. I basically got culture shock, homesickness, the whole shebang. So I found that going home after 4 months was long enough for me. And after I came back home, I actually experienced culture shock in my home country of Canada. Apparently it's a thing called reverse culture shock. Google that if you don't know what I'm talking about. It's a real thing. So that went on for a while. Once I got reacclimatized to life back in Canada, I found that my passions no longer laid where they were before. I found my passions were in language and culture. I did a complete 180 on my career, which has now completely changed. Since coming back, I've been brushing up on my French. For those of you that don't know, in Canada we have two national languages, English and French. And I'm sad to say that I stopped taking French in high school when it was no longer required, because at that time I wasn't passionate about it. I wasn't interested in it, so I stopped taking it like many others. But since coming back from Japan, and now having lived in Japanese and being conversational in Japanese, I have a passion for languages again. So in the last couple of years, I've been practicing French, learning French. I've had a couple trips to Montreal and been able to practice. It's not as high as my Japanese because I lived in Japan. I got a lot more vocabulary, but it is at a basic conversational level. So that's been fun. And actually as well, I've enrolled in university. And since being there, I've met a lot of international students and have dabbled in Mandarin, Hindi, and actually this leads into my next trip. I'm doing a semester abroad in Denmark in the fall. And hence I have dabbled a bit in Danish now. I am doing an exchange through my university from September to December with a university in Denmark. So I'm super excited about that. I'm going to be leaving soon for that. So that's what's happening next. The process has been quite involved. There has been a lot going on for applying and getting visas and everything. I'm going to have to make that in a separate video because that was a very long process. I will have to make some jot notes and kind of go through it if you guys are interested. The process through my university was a lot different than when I went through Japan, because in Japan actually I went on my own and I actually used a company that helped me do all the paperwork. So actually I don't think I ever mentioned that. I went through a company called Gogo Nihon. I'll post a link down in the description to their website. They were great. I basically sent them all the required information and they did all the paperwork, which I imagine was quite a lot. But yeah, I used their service in 2014 and they were great. Everything was good. I gave them my information and then everything was ready when I arrived. But going to Denmark, there has been a lot of paperwork and a lot of information required to both through my university and to get a visa and residence and everything. So I will do that in a separate video because that was a lot of information. But yeah, so my next trip will be to Denmark from September to December, going for the fall term. So I'm super excited for that. The reason that I chose Denmark actually was after Japan, I really liked getting around everywhere by bicycle. I really enjoyed that part about my trip in Japan. And I thought, where better to go for cycling than one of the cycle capitals of the world, which is Denmark. So yeah, that's what's going on in my life. I have rebranded my channel. It's now just Megan's Adventures because I am no longer in Japan. And actually I plan on going to a bunch of different countries now because I want to experience languages and cultures from around the world. I really enjoy it. I really enjoy learning about other languages and cultures. So yeah, that's what's going on in my life. That's kind of in a nutshell what's happened in the last 4 years and what's going to happen again soon. So I'm flying out for Denmark fairly soon. when I get there, I'm hoping to make a video to show you guys a bit around and see how that goes. But yeah, I'm super excited, and actually I've been looking online for vloggers, for anybody else that's in Denmark currently, to kind of see other experience. I'm going to share my experience while I'm there, but if anybody knows any vloggers that are in Denmark, whether it's in Danish or English, I'd love to check out their channel. If you could let me know, that'd be great. And if anybody has any experience with Denmark, or you want to talk about Danish culture or Danish language, I'd love to hear it. Please let me know in the comments. But yeah, that's pretty much what's gone on in my life. Yeah, the next adventure is about to begin. I'm super excited, and I hope you guys will join me for the ride. Thanks for watching!